Hi guys, happy Thursday. It is Friday Eve. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this week has absolutely flown by. I feel like it was just Monday, like a minute ago. It's crazy how fast this week has gone by. And I'm not mad at it. Honestly, I'm not. I'm always happy to see the weekend, and it is on the horizon. So it's all good. So how has everybody's week been so far? Have you been staying busy, staying safe? Have you made goodies this week with all of your favorite Jesse James beads? Good morning, Jamie. Hey, Wanda. Hey, Rosanna. How are ya? How are ya? There's Miss Julie. So good to see you guys. There's Kathleen. Everybody's coming on in. There's Miss Lena. So, you guys, guess what today is? A lot of you already know because I can't stop posting about it. I just get excited. I just can't contain myself. It's Magical Mystery Bead Box Day. Hooray! I love it when my Magical Mystery Bead Box shows up. It's like Christmas, right? It's just like, I'm such a huge fan of subscription services anyway, because I have a real shopping problem. I love to shop online. It's like, I don't know, the thrill of shopping online. And then you add in subscription services where it's always a surprise. Oh yes, it's just checking all the boxes for me. So the Magical Mystery Bead Box is one of my very favorite things in the world to get in the mail because it has one of my favorite things in it, which is beads, which is phenomenal, right? The only other thing that comes close is when I get makeup in the mail, like makeup and beads. If they could just send me shoes, which I know there are subscription services for that, but shoes, makeup, beads. That would be my perfect subscription service little trio there. Hi from Trinidad, Linda. How are you? Excuse me, guys. So, with that being said, we get to unbox it today. Some of you have already seen it. Some of you have not. Some of you don't own it, and you've got the opportunity to get it and have it in your hands. Because the weekly deals this week are phenomenal. They're always good, right? But this one includes a Magical Mystery Bead Box deal. So just a quick rundown of what the weekly deals are. And you guys, these are good until Monday at 10 a.m. So you've got a few more days to shop on these weekly deals. But the first one is a free bead mix with a $49 cart. And the coupon code for that is free bead mix. There is 10% off. This is a really good one. 10% off of bead strands. And the coupon code for that is 10 strands. And then last but not least is the one that is super important for us today, which is $10 off of Magical Mystery Bead Box subscriptions. And the code for that is mystery. Now you can't combine your coupon codes or your weekly deals, but there's always 3, and that means there's always something for everybody to choose from, whether you have a small shopping cart with just a few items in it or a big shopping cart, or you are just looking to grab your Magical Mystery Bead Box. So those are your deals for the week. And like I said, you still got a few more days to shop on those because they will change again. They change once a week, and you can find all of that information on jessejamesbeads.com if you forget what I just said, because I know I just kind of like blew through that. But something else that is worth mentioning, which some of you heard about yesterday, but definitely wanted to give it a little plug here while we are here. Dress It Up, which is the sister company of Jesse James Beads. It is a button and embellishment shop that sells all of the most amazing Dress It Up buttons that you can possibly think of. There are shank style buttons in characters and shapes and colors and just amazing goodness, right? And sometimes they end up in your Magical Mystery Bead Box. There are also, sewing buttons, quilting buttons, every button you can think of, right? So the website is up and running right now, dressitupshop.com. So if you're interested in checking that out, definitely do so. Sign up for the newsletter and go ahead and create yourself an account, right? Why not? Why not? Then when you're ready to shop, it's already there. All right, so without further ado, let's get to the Magical Mystery Bead Box for June. Okay, so just being completely transparent, you guys, I've already opened this box. I cheated. So normally I don't. I really try not to open the box and let it be a surprise the same time you guys. Like, I may see a sneak peek here or there, but I try not to open it and look. But I needed to take some pictures of all of the goodies that are inside here for some social media posts, and I just couldn't wait. I've had this since this weekend, so it was just too hard, right? It was just too hard for me to wait. But I am going to show you a little quick teaser before we get down on the mat, just to show you. This month for June was Hello Sunshine, and so are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. Yellow and blue is the name of the game, and okay, just being honest, I don't normally, I'm not drawn to yellow, but I don't know, something about when you mix it together with blue and it just becomes this magical color. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So let's get down on the mat, get to it. We're going to go through the box, and then we'll make some quick little earrings, you guys, because I just can't help myself, right? Can't help myself. Got to make something. It is hard to resist the magic. I agree, Sylvia. Totally agree. All right, so in each one of the magical mystery bead boxes, you are going to get your little information card, and it has a wonderful little bit of inspiration on the outside. So I always save these. I have a collection of all the ones that I get, and I used to pin these up so that I could see them on a regular basis. But you guys, I have so many of them now, I don't know. I've kind of run out of room. So now I've just kind of started a stack of these, and I pull them out and look at them when I need some inspiration. And they're very helpful for that. Not only that, but on the back, it tells you what's inside of the magical mystery bead box. So if you happen to take all of your PC parts and all your beads and all your goodies and separate them all out and then forget, you can always come back to this card and be like, oh yeah, I remember there was a strand. I loved that strand. Let's find it. So I love that there's a guide to kind of tell you what's in there, but also to remind you later in case, you know, you separate things out. Sometimes I do that. All right, so before we get into that, I also want to mention that there is a free bead strand with your $49 order, and the code is HELLO. Almost always, you're going to get a cutie little extra incentive in your box, right? An extra little coupon code that is exclusive to the Magical Mystery Bead boxes. Okay, so the first thing that comes up is Hello Sunshine Design Elements Bead Mix, and this I'm obsessed with. This was the whole reason that I opened this up to start with, and it's already been opened. I will kind of show ya how it looks, but you can tell I've already opened it up and have played with all of the beads that are in this, but gosh, this is so pretty. So a beautiful mix of blues and yellows and peach colors, which I never would think to add with blue and yellow, but it works so beautifully, and it just kind of creates this kind of blueberry citrus kind of feeling to it that is just, I don't know, it makes me think of like peaches or apricots and blueberries, and then like, I don't know, bananas or lemons. It's just, for me, it's all about fruit. I don't know, I've got fruit on the brain when it comes to summertime, and this is just really kind of speaking to me in that way. Lots of beautiful yellows here. I love all of the different kinds of drops. So these guys are side drilled. They look like leaves, but I gotta tell you, you can also use these as wings, which is kind of cool, right? So there are a lot of those guys, and then there are some of these really beautiful check glass drops that are absolutely stunning, and I love that you get like 4 of these just right out of the gate. We're already like in the positive here with this, right? Of course we are. It's a magical mystery bead box. You can't go wrong. There are also some of these little guys, which I think we're going to use in our project today. There are also some cute little yellow rondelles. You guys know I love the baby beads. They are some of my favorites, so we're going to use those. There are these beautiful sunflower charms that are in here, which are awesome. There is this kind of boho funky disco bead that is a pendant, and yes, I'm feeling this. This is just like sunshine, right? It's sunshine in a bead. But I gotta say, my favorite beads out of this whole mix are these guys. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the color here that is just so good. I don't know. It has this kind of milky quality to it. I don't know. It just seems very beachy to me, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm loving it. There are some bead caps. There are these beautiful peachy twist beads. Everything in here is absolutely gorgeous, and we're just getting started, right? There's so much more. So I'm going to set that to the side for just a second. There is a Good Vibes 2-tier mini mix. Guys, it just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. Oh, my dirty little bead surface here. Sorry about that. Okay, so Good Vibes is a 2-tiered mini mix, and it looks like this. Of course, I've already taken mine apart, but so yeah, just wait till you see. Okay, first of all, there's a button in here. Love, 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 love. Oh, and it's a flower, which immediately reminds me of my good friend Meredith Roddy. This has her name all over it. Sunflowers in general just remind me of Meredith. This is a shank style button. This is going to be perfect for wrap style bracelets, anything that you want to use where you don't want extra hardware. I love using a really beautiful button as my clasp for things. So that is much, much welcomed. There are 2 of these little guys, and they're a large hole, which is super cool because they're going to fit on some leather cord that's going to go perfectly with our little sunflower button. So that's super cool. These guys are absolutely adorable. And it's funny that these are in here. So these sweet little bluebirds, right? I've actually been on the hunt for bird beads. And so to get these, it was like just like a magical little kiss from the universe to me. Like, I know everybody gets birds in theirs, but I was just like, oh, I was just looking for some of these. So it was a happy moment for me for sure. I love those. They're so, so cute. Are they not adorable? I don't know. There's something about bird beads that just screams summertime to me. And then on the bottom of this little tier are some fabulous tassels. And you guys remember that bracelet that we made? I think it was last week actually, with all the tassels. These would make another one of those bracelets look amazing. Like this color combination with the pops of the dark and light pink and then the blue and yellow. Yes, I'm feeling it. I think it's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to kind of sit these. Oh, I don't want to be too rough with my tassels, but I want to sit these to the side for just a second. Okay, moving right along, we've got an Artisan bead pair, and you guys, these are so stinking pretty. I'm like not even kidding. So, whoa, drop them in the floor. That's not going to do me any good. Look at these bohos. Yes. So not only are these just like the most beautiful yellow, but they have gold glitter with them, which just makes them so elegant, right? Like, can a boho bead be elegant? I think it can be. And I think we're looking at it right now. Like, that's gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. I love, 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 love those. And I love that it's a pair because then that means I can make earrings out of them, right? If I want to, or 2 totally different pieces of jewelry. That's what's awesome about getting 2 of something. All right, so it wouldn't be a magical mystery bead box without some chain reaction. There are 3 chain reaction in here, and I think everybody's chain reaction is probably different. So you may not get the exact same ones that I have, but got this beautiful gold tone with like that creamy colored glass rondelle. Absolutely beautiful. I love the chain reaction. The metal colors are so warm and so good. Rosanna says she loves the shell bohos. Me too. This beautiful blue, and then the little extra that's in there is like this kind of swirl. Well, like a little wave, if you will. This is a very ocean feeling to me. I love it. Love it. So pretty. And then last but not least, this is my favorite of the chain reaction. I'm really drawn to this color always. But I also really, really love the chain part of this as well with the little diamonds. I just think that's so pretty. It looks so good by itself. Like, you don't even have to do anything. Just take this off the card, add a clasp to it, and you've already got a beautiful necklace. Or you can cut it up and use it however you want to. But sometimes the chain reaction just speaks to me in that way. It's like, yeah, I just wear me as is. and I don't disagree. I never argue with it, right? Okay, so next we've got Don't Worry, Be Happy Custom Bead Strand. And this is one of the ones it's so pretty. It's so pretty. But I immediately want to just turn this into a bracelet. I just want to restring it and wear it. It's so pretty. It's just a work of art all by itself. The bead team, they know what they are doing when they are putting these beads together, right? There is a gorgeous boho in the center. You've got some big, beautiful rondelles, some glass pearls. But my favorite two beads in this entire strand are, number one, the little clay flower beads, right, on either end. They're so pretty. And then look at that yellow rondelle. Just look at the color in that. I don't know. It's just like screaming sunshine. And there's 4 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So good. They're so good. And you've got a mix of the metals in here. So you've got some little pops of the gold color and you've got the silver. So this is like gonna work with everything. It's just beautiful. Yeah. Sarah says like pink lemonade. Exactly. I could not describe it better myself. Pink lemonade right here in a strand. It's just gorgeous. And I don't know, it's just wanting to just be a bracelet. Look how pretty. Yeah, love it. All right, so moving on because we're not done. We've got 3 more things to go through here. So we've got a glass hearts bead pair. Wait until you see these. Oh, wow. So you guys remember in the Titanic, the heart of the ocean? It was like a blue stone. Okay, and to be completely honest with you, I never watched that movie ever because I don't like movies that make me cry. But I do remember the jewelry because for prom that year, which I didn't go to, the theme was the Titanic, and all of the girls at my school had to find these hearts, right, to make their necklaces out of. That's what this reminds me of. Look at these. Oh, yes. They're huge, and they're beautiful, and they're sparkly, and they're not blue like the heart of the ocean or whatever it was called, but I don't even care, right? It's yellow. It's like this beautiful golden kind of sunset. It has that pop of purple and pink in it that is just so good. And they're so big, but I gotta tell you, I'm tempted to turn these into earrings. I'm not even kidding. Like, they would be the most amazing, huge showstopper earrings ever. Or just a great pendant, you know? But they are absolutely stunning. So pretty. So pretty. And there's 2 of them, which just makes it doubly good, right? Okay. So then you're going to get a fancy magnetic clasp. And I literally just had that in my hand. What did I do with it? Okay. So I adore magnetic clasps, just like I adore buttons. And part of the reason that I like them so much is because they are so much easier to work with, right? And these are really super strong, right? This guy is going to hold a lot of bead weight. And it's just beautiful all by itself. So your clasp becomes part of your design. It looks beautiful on the back with an updo. It looks beautiful in the front as part of your focal or on a bracelet. It's really beautiful. And you can't go wrong with a magnet because you don't have to struggle with trying to put your jewelry on yourself and like trying to find somebody. Here, will you put my bracelet on me? I bet I say that at least 4 times a week. Magnets and buttons totally solved that problem for me. So absolutely gorgeous and goes beautifully with everything else. Okay, last but not least, we have a fancy tassel assortment. This is the Clear Skies Fancy Tassel Mix. And now I've run out of room on my little mat here, so I'm gonna kind of shift everything around just a little bit and put these. Okay, so these are gorgeous. I'm so in love with the colors in this whole box. The blues are so vibrant. Look at that. It's just like the perfect blue sky, right? Which is exactly why this is called the Clear Skies Fancy Tassel Mix. But I mean, nailed it when it comes to a perfect summer day sky. That is the color right there. Absolutely beautiful. There are 2 in this warm yellow gold color for like evening, summer, sunset. Just so pretty. And then you get my favorite tassels, which is absolutely hysterical because I have these on right now. And it was purely coincidence. I actually have this exact pair of tassels hanging from my ears right now. I love them. I made a pair of earrings out of them and I wear them all the time with just a pretty little check glass bead. Yeah, I love them. It's just good. It's just good. So I just want to kind of like bring everything together here so that you really kind of get the full visual of everything that is included, because you guys, when you look at it out like this, you really kind of, I can't even get it all in the shot. That's how much there is. Like, the Magical Mystery Bead boxes are jam-packed full of good stuff. And it's not like you're just getting, oh, some chain and maybe a strand. No, you're getting like a whole assortment of stuff that you can turn into, I don't know, I would say more than maybe 12 pieces of jewelry. Like, that's not an exaggeration. So I'm just saying, guys, this is such a good deal. And right now you can get $10 off of the subscriptions with one of the weekly deals. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. The coupon code for that is mystery. And so worth it, so worth it. I am always so happy to open my Magical Mystery Bead boxes, and the inspiration is just like dripping from within, right? So good. All right, so that is everything. Juliana says, I see you looming ops, right? Me too, me too. That's actually what I wanted the little birds for. I wanted the birds to go with one of my little loom projects, yeah. So yeah, I'm seeing lots of different ways to incorporate all of this good stuff. Yay! I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I do love the bead mix in this one too. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use our little Hello Sunshine design elements for today's project. I am going to scoot all of this over to the side just in case we want to grab something from it as well to use for our project. But I figured let's put together some kind of on the fly earrings. You guys know it makes me really nervous when I do on the fly because things can go badly very, very quickly. But I've got the idea in mind, and I think that it will be very easy to do. So I really want to take advantage of these little beautiful, these little miracle beads. They look like they glow from within. I think they're absolutely beautiful, and I want to mix them with these beautiful little lemon yellow rondelles. And so let's make some hoop earrings, but let's like do some extra little wire wrapping to them, shall we? So I'm going to use my artistic wire mandrel. You guys know how much I love this. I use it all the time. And just so you guys know, a lot of people ask about this guy. Super inexpensive and worth every penny. You guys, this guy he is on order like right now. And Sarah, you can let everybody know for sure. I know that people have been looking for this guy, and he sells out pretty quick because he is inexpensive and super, super handy. So they're really, really popular. But don't worry, they will be back in stock. I promise, because it's a good one. All right, so we're going to use a little bit of 18 gauge wire for our hoop. I've got about 6 inches here. That's probably overkill, but you guys know how I do, right? And I'm going to take a pair of chain nose pliers, and I'm going to come down on this piece of 18 gauge wire. I'm going to give myself about 2.5 inches, maybe a little less. I don't want to overdo it here, but I'm just going to bend that wire with my pliers. So I've got this really long backwards L shape, or actually it might be going the right direction for you guys. I never can remember if things are backwards for you guys. All right, so now I gotta decide like which one of these I want to use. I don't want the full size loop down here, which is a let's see, that's a 27.5 millimeter. I don't want to use that one. I think I want to come up here to either the 21 or the 23. I can't really remember which one I had in my brain originally. Let's go with the 23. That might be a little bit too big, but that's all right. We'll make it work. So I'm just going to take my wire right where I have that bend, and I'm just going to sit it on to the mandrel, and I'm holding it with my thumb. I'm going to take the rest of the wire and just bring it on around right up here to where our bend in the wire is. Okay, I'm not going to take this off of the tool at all. I'm just going to take my tail as I'm holding it on the mandrel, and it might be easier to use my pliers, but I'm just going to go ahead and wrap around that straight section of wire. Just 1.5, right? Not too many. And I'm going to squeeze those together just like so. Okay, so I've got a loop already made. We've got a nice straight section here that we're going to utilize. I'm going to slide this off. All right, so we have our little hoop. We do have this little tail. We need to get rid of that. So I'm going to trim that off. I'm using my flush cutter. I'm just going to come in and get that as close as I can and trim that off. Now, because we're using some 18 gauge wire here, I definitely want to take this and put this on our steel block. And I do want to work harden this just slightly. It is a thicker gauge wire, but it's not nearly as strong as the 16 gauge. So I do want to work harden both sides. I'm going to use my nylon hammer to do that. And I'm just going to tap both sides. Be sure to do both sides, guys. Okay, and then you just want to check it, and if for some reason it comes out of its shape, you can always pop this guy right back onto the mandrel. You can actually hit this with your nylon hammer while it is on the mandrel. It works much better if you've got a metal mandrel, but it's okay to hit it while it's on this plastic guy, okay? All right, so the only reason I wanted to work hard on that is because I feel like as you are doing some extra things to the loop, your fingers warm up the metal and sometimes it gets knocked out of shape. So it's just some extra security measures. All right, so what are we gonna do with this long section here? I think what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these beautiful blue rondelles and we're just going to slide that on there, and let's go ahead and create a wrapped loop here at the top, and then we're going to work on this bottom loop section here. So you guys probably noticed this looks very similar to some earrings that we have made previously, but I got to tell you, this is just such a easy way to make hoop earrings, and there are so many different options you can do with the loop. That's part of the reason that I thought this would be a good one to go with our project today. So I'm grabbing the wire right as it is exiting that rondelle with my chain nose pliers, and I'm just going to bend that wire like so. And when I take those away, you can see I've got a little bit of space here. That's the perfect little area to come in with my round nose pliers. I'm going to grab that wire so that is running between the barrel of the pliers, and now I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to go up and over the top barrel of the pliers. I'm not moving the pliers, I'm only moving the wire. Now keep in mind, this is not the wire that I normally use. You guys know I normally stick with 22 gauge when I'm doing any of the wire wrapping stuff, but 18 is the name of the game today, so creating your little loop here may take a little extra elbow grease, right? Because it's a sturdy wire. All right, so just taking that wire over to the other side, I'm going to switch hands, and then I'm going to wire wrap between the loop and the top of the bead. And with this 18 gauge wire, I don't know if I'll be able to get 3 in there, but we'll certainly try. I don't want to crowd out the bead. Yeah, I can make it work. I got 3. Okay, so there is my wire wrap loop, and I'm going to come in and trim off that tail. Just like so. All right, now we are ready to go forward, okay? So the next thing I'm going to bring in is some 24 gauge wire, and I'm going to give myself about 4 feet of this. I know that sounds like a lot, and if that is too much wire for you to work with all at one time, you definitely can cut that down to 2 feet, 2 sections of 2 feet, okay? And just work with whatever makes you comfortable. I am going to go ahead though, and I probably will regret that choice since I don't have a whole lot of room here, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to take my wire, and I just want to kind of anchor this on to our little component that we've made. So I'm just laying the wire over the top of the component. I've got a short little tail section here, and I'm going to take my short little tail section and just wire wrap around the component. And it doesn't matter where you start this, because we'll be able to, you can see we're going to be able to slide that around, so no problems. Doesn't matter where you start. And I just want to wire wrap about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. We're going to do a lot of wire wrapping, so it doesn't have to just be like 2 or 3, which is what I normally do, okay? All right, so now I've got that attached to my component, and I am going to take my long tail now, and I am going to do some more wire wrapping here. I'm just going to wrap around the component a few more times. I want to give myself probably about 1/4 of an inch of just straight wraps without anything extra on here. And notice I'm leaving the tail here, okay? I'm just gonna leave those right on, or just leave it rather, right on, okay? It kind of helps to have that tail because you can really kind of hold on to it and it'll keep your wire wraps from spinning around on you, okay? So just wrapping that on around. And if your wires end up with spaces between them and you don't like that, you can always come in with your chain nose pliers and just give them a little squeeze and clean those up, right? Okay, so I've given myself enough here. And actually, I think I even want to use my tail and do a few more, just going the other direction. So much easier to do this with a shorter section of wire. That's why I say if you can't manage to do 4 feet of wire at a time, that's okay. It's not a failure, I promise. That just means that, you know, you're being extra careful. So working in 2-foot sections instead of 4 is totally okay. All right, so I'm just going to leave that. Now I definitely have at least 1/4 of an inch of the wire wrap. And oh yes, sorry, I had to stop. I see the comment from Sarah. Sarah says, hey, Meredith Roddy, we need to have another Girls' Day Thursday. Yes, I agree. Let's do it. Let's do it. So funny because I'm actually working on little packages for both of you right now that are not Girls' Day Thursday related. They're just because I love you packages. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of these beautiful little miracle beads in this blue color and I'm going to drop that down all the way onto the wire here. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that bead. I want it to be kind of standing up on the outer edge of our component. I'm going to take the wire, go behind, right? It's kind of going at an angle, okay? And I'm just going to wire wrap one time to secure that to our component, okay? Now I can let go of the bead. Now I'm going to take the rest of this wire. This is part of the reason that we are working on these huge long sections of wire. I'm going to take the wire and I'm going to wrap around our bead and I'm just going to create like a little nest, if you will, right? And you can go around as many times as you want to, right? Just creating a little wire wrapped, messy little base for our bead, okay? And then once I've gone around the bead as many times as I want, and you can really, you know, build this up or just go around a couple times, totally up to you. It's going to change the way it looks. All right, now I'm going to take the wire where I've stopped and bring it through, and I'm just going to create some more wire wraps, okay? So just like we were doing before, just taking our long piece of wire and wrapping around. So I don't have a set number of wraps here. I just want about the same amount of wraps. So Annette says, what gauge wire are you using for the wrap? I'm using 24 gauge wire for this. It just is a little bit smaller than the 22 gauge. You can do this with 22, but it is very bulky. So just keep that in mind. So 24 or 26 is definitely what I would recommend for this. But totally up to you. Totally up to you. In fact, if you were to create a bigger component, like a larger hoop, a thicker gauge wire would definitely be okay, you know? It would be more balanced, I think. All right, so just wrapping around a few times. Kind of giving it the eyeball treatment here. I'm not being super specific with this. All right, looks like maybe one more time, and then we're gonna add another bead. So I've got a little space here, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add one of these beautiful yellow rondelles. This color is so vibrant and so pretty. Okay, same thing, just drop that down to the surface of the component. Okay, hold it in place, take the wire to the back, and then attach it with one wire wrap, right? So now you can really let go of the bead, and then take the tail of your wire and just kind of wrap around and create another one of those little nests for your bead. Okay, when you've built it up as much as you want, then start back with your wire wrapping. So I'm going to do a couple more wire wraps here, and then I'm going to kind of lay my beads out so that we can get a better look at this and kind of try to figure out the spacing here. That is one thing that I did not really consider when I was thinking about this one. Very often I do our designs ahead of time and then take them apart. This one I did not actually physically do in advance. So you guys are gonna we're kind of doing it on the fly here to take a look at the beads and how many we have and what kind of spacing we can use, because I don't want to use up all of the beads for one earring and then not have enough to create the mate, right? I'm not into that whole one earring look, which is still a thing, sadly. It shouldn't be. It should not be. All right, just a few more wire wraps here. Erica says, love the colors. I have a daughter with Down syndrome, and those are the colors. They are. I had completely forgotten about that, which are such good colors for that, I think. So happy, you know, such happy colors. All right, so we're pretty close here to having the same amount here. There's more up here. That's okay. I'm totally okay with that. Okay, so one thing that is happening is my wire down here is getting kinked. That's just par for the course when it comes to using some smaller gauge wires or just long pieces in general. Now we're going to sit this down, and I am going to scroll back for just a second because I saw a question. Yeah, Sarah got it. This is round wire. It absolutely is. Sorry, I did see that question go by, and I didn't forget about it. Let's see, who had asked that? Shirley had asked, are you using round wire or flat wire? Does it matter? So truthfully, it doesn't matter. It is going to kind of change up the way that it looks if you're using flat wire. The flat wire, and when I think of flat wire, I think of like half round so that it's flat on one surface and then it's curved on the outer surface. That's not going to matter nearly so much with just the wire wrapping. It may kind of change the way that your little nests look just a little bit. Generally, I always use round wire. That's just kind of, you know, that's really just kind of my go-to wire, and is available on jessiejamesbeads.com. so there you go. If you need some, you can grab some, and it is round wire. Roma says your rings are amazing. Can we have a close-up? Just a quick quick. Thank you, though. I appreciate that very, very much. I'm a jewelry hoarder, if you will. And unfortunately for my husband, I really love diamonds. So anyway, I also love Swarovski crystals, which kind of lets him off the hook a little bit, but not by much. Okay, so let's take a look at the beads and what we've got. I do need to clear out a little space here on my mat so that we can just kind of see, because I don't want to run out of beads before I get to make a second earring, which I will do after our live today. So I'm just going to pull out all of the little blue guys, and let's see, I think that was it for the yellows. So okay, we have 4 total of the yellows, which means I can use one more in this earring. I'll sit those 2 to the side. That's for the mate. We've already used one of the blues. So now let's see, let's split up here. All right, so we can have 4 blues and 2 yellows per earring, which is totally fine for me. That means, let's see, it might mean I need a little something here to dangle down. I'm not quite sure. Maybe not, maybe not. We'll keep going like we're doing, and maybe I'll just have this section here just wrapped, and then we can always hang something off of it later if we want to. I mean, you guys can really change this up. You don't have to do exactly like I'm doing, right? Maggie says I'm a member of that club big time. I'm glad I'm not alone. Like normally I'm not really high maintenance, but when it comes to jewelry I am, just because I mean that's my business, you know. Jewelry is my business, so that part makes me high maintenance. The rest of it not so much. But anyway, okay, so before we get back started with our wire wrapping here, I'm going to add another one of the blue beads. I just want to say hello to everybody who may just now be joining us. Come on in. We unboxed the Magical Mystery Bead Box for the month of June. It was Hello Sunshine in beautiful blues and yellows and peach tones. And now we are creating some kind of on-the-fly earrings with the beads that were there. And if you are just now joining us, one of the weekly deals, there are 3 great weekly deals that are happening right now on the Jessie James Beads website that are good until Monday at 10 a.m. You've still got plenty of time to shop on those deals, but one of the deals is $10 off your Magical Mystery Bead Box subscription. And that is the perfect one for today. Oh my gosh. Raylan says, I'm that way with pajamas. Yes. And I am also. Like I look dressed from the waist up when you guys see me, but I have a huge collection of pajama pants that you guys know nothing about. Okay, so I've dropped down another one of those beautiful blue beads, and again, just sitting that on the component, taking the wire to the back, and I'm just going to wire wrap once to attach that little bead to our component. Okay, and now I'm just going to take our wire and build up one of those little nests. You guys, 9 times out of 10 when you see me, if I have on a real shirt, that's great, like that's a bonus, but I almost always have on some funky pajama pants, and they're normally Christmas pajama pants. Like right now my pajama pants have snowflakes all over them. So you know, it's Christmas in July. Okay, so we've added a 3rd bead, and now I'm just going to wire wrap some more. And you guys, I'm just using the little round beads for this, but you could use any of the beads in this bead mix to create this exact same look, but it will look a little bit different. Like if you wanted to wire wrap one of these guys on there and then nest around it, it would make a really pretty drop, right? So you would just bring it down the exact same way, attach it the same way you would the round bead, and then just nest around the smaller portion of the bead. That would be really, really pretty. So this technique is going to work with whatever kind of beads you want to use with this, okay? You don't feel like you're just limited to the small beads. I like the way the small beads look, just little pops of color, but it's up to you. Always, always. That's part of the fun of designing. All right, so since I only have 2 of the yellow beads for this earring, the next bead that I add is going to be another one of the blue, just so that I kind of have a symmetrical little pattern going on here. And then I do want to kind of bring it over a little bit further to the left. So I'm going to wire wrap. So the space between the 2 sections, now that I've decided that they are sections, is going to be a little bit bigger. Which is totally fine, because now what is going to happen is at the bottom of the earring here, I'm going to have this space where I could very easily take a jump ring, right? And add a dangle, and just the jump ring would clear all of these wraps. So totally doable if you wanted to add something more. So there's another one of the blue beads, and you can see the spacing here is a little bit wider. Totally fine. I'm not mad at it. May use that to our advantage later. Wrap this bead on and then give it a little nest. And I'm thinking maybe I want to add one of those little drops. Let's see how much wire we end up with when we get back up here to the top. So I don't know if you guys keep up with, I know that a lot of you that like if you sell the jewelry that you make, I'm sure that you keep up with like what's trending for each of the seasons. One of the things that is trending really big in jewelry this summer is colorful hoops. And unless you have stones and you do stone setting or crystal setting or what have you, the rest of us in the bead world, we kind of have to be able to fake that look, but with beads, right? At least I don't do a lot of stone setting. Occasionally I will set a Swarovski into a setting that I bought specifically. But for the most part, I try to recreate what is popular with what I've got. So I always have beads. And this is very, very similar to a lot of the hoop earrings that are trending right now. And this technique is, you know, great for showing off those colors. So even if you turn this to the side, instead of it being a straight earring like this, where you're looking at it from the front, it could be a side-facing earring and you're still going to get all of those pops of color. So always trying to look and figure out how I can take whatever is in style at the moment and kind of rework it with what I've got. All right. So just going to build a little nest for this guy. And we've got one more bead to add, at least on the outer portion here. Not sure what comes next. I guess we'll see when we get there. Part of the adventure, right? We'll just see what happens. I love it when bright colors are popular. They're not popular every year, but we're very, very fortunate this year in that the summer jewelry for this year, lots of bright and cheerful color, which I think everybody kind of needs right now as mood boosters. And what better way to, you know, increase your mood than with beautiful, colorful jewelry. So I think the fashion industry was getting it right this year. All right, so we've got one more of the blue beads to add. All right. And just gonna attach him the same way. So the question was, how many times do I go around the beads? You know, totally up to you. I haven't really been keeping count, to be honest with you. Some of them I've gone around several times. I'm really just kind of doing like 5 or 6. I don't really know for sure. It's just whatever makes you feel good. You know, whatever works for you. Some people really like that extra wire there, other people not so much. And so if you like the extra wire, then go big, right? Do 5 or 6 wraps around. If you don't, you can get away with 2 or 3 just to help kind of secure your bead and really create that base that your bead needs to stay in this position on the outside of your component. So that part's totally up to you, just depending on what you like. But once you get around that bead 2 times, 3 times, the functionality of the wrap, you've got it, you know? Then it just becomes about what you like visually. So, all right, so we're finishing off with some wire wraps here, and I'm starting to wonder. We'll take a look here in just a second. I'm thinking maybe a drop would look pretty in the middle, but I don't know until I hold it up here. It could be just way too much. But you guys know I'm always in the mindset that more is more. So who knows what's going to happen here? Okay, so let's stop right there. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Thinking maybe add the drop to the middle. What do you think? I think that makes it look very royal, right? I don't know, just it reminds me of like queen jewelry, like royalty. So should we put the drop there? 100% yes. Meredith, I hope you're, oh no, she's replying to somebody else. I thought she was saying 100% yes to the drop bead. Darn. Carrie Lee says drop. All right, let's put the drop on there. So I will. All I needed was just one person to be like, yeah, do it. Go for it. Let's see what happens. I mean, we can always take it off if it's a complete disaster, right? All right, so I do kind of have to zhuzh, if you will, the wire a little bit. But before I take this over there and wrap it to the other side, I do want to get rid of this guy because now he's not serving any purpose other than just getting in my way. And I'm actually going to unwrap him once, because that last wrap was not a pretty one. And I'm going to trim him off. All right, so now I can kind of coax this wire into the shape that I want. And actually, I think I want this to come to the front. Oh, okay, good. Meredith says, also 100% yes to the drop beads, but Sarah, James, and I are plotting another girls' day. I love it. And I love that you use the word plotting. That's just, that's fantastic. Okay, so you can see where I kind of bent that 24 gauge wire down so that this drop is not like crowding out the top of the wire circle here. He does have a little bit of room to kind of swing and have some movement. And now I'm just going to wire wrap a couple of times to secure him and take those wraps and meet them up with the wraps where we started, so it looks as seamless as possible. Okay. Now, if this is not your style for an earring, totally get it. This would make a beautiful pendant as well. Always remember that when it comes to earrings, because I have a tendency to make huge earrings. Today is no exception. And some people just don't like big earrings. And so they can always be turned into pendants if you want. All right, so there we go. I think I like it with that drop there. Just kind of wiggle everything around a little bit. What do you think? I think that's a pretty cool looking earring. And what I do have, like I mentioned before, is there is a little bit of space here at the bottom. My beads are not spaced out completely perfect, right? I was not really counting the wraps or any of that stuff. I was really just kind of freeform doing this. If you want to get really, really technical with all of it and make sure that you have even spacing, you can always come in and measure out on your component and mark it with a permanent marker, exact placement, so that each one of your beads are, you know, are set specifically the same distance apart and that whole business if you want to. But truthfully, once you put the earring on, nobody is going to notice that they may be off by a couple of wraps, you know, and if they're that close to you, I hope you're having a better time than worrying about your beads being spaced. Just saying. So anyway, down here at the bottom, if you wanted to, you could, you know, hook a jump ring right here and then hang an extra dangle, right? Hang some of your chain reaction from this if you wanted to. Like, you could really get crazy with this. I'm glad somebody laughed. Like, okay, if nobody laughs, I just lost my job. Somebody please laugh. All right, good. All right, so what am I going to do? I'm just going to add an ear wire to this, and we are going to, sometimes you guys, you just never know what's going to come out of my mouth. So, all right, I'm going to open up an ear wire, put it on our newly created earring, and then I'm going to spin you guys around here, and we'll try this on and see what it looks like. And then we will say goodbye for the day. And I'll make the mate for this and take some pictures of them so that we can see what they look like as a pair. Ooh, yeah, flower tassel. I like that. You guys always have great ideas, I gotta tell ya. Always inspired. Wet gauge wire is the base of your earring, and now I'm using 18 gauge for that component. You can do it with 16 if you want to. 18 gauge is just kind of what I grabbed for. It's a little less chunky than the 16. See my tassels? My favorite color that was actually included in today's Magical Mystery Bead Box. All right, I think these earrings are fabulous. I just love earrings in general. I'm just such a fan. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. I think that that's really pretty. I think it turned out really well. I think it even looks better on than it does. James says, true fact, folks, no filter. I've never had a filter. I have to be really careful. I have to be careful about what I say sometimes. But, you know, yeah. So I think those turned out really, really well. Super fun, easy to do. You could, you know, and the wire wraps don't have to be beautiful, guys, right? You can totally get this exact look with messy wraps. It does not have to be just perfect and, you know, evenly spaced and this and that and the, like, do you, you guys. I like a messy wrap. I'm just saying, just saying. All right, guys, it's been so much fun. As always, I have, excuse me, I have really enjoyed our time together, as I always do. I hope that you guys loved this month's Magical Mystery Bead Box. I think it was absolutely gorgeous. Take advantage. If you are not a subscriber to the Magical Mystery Bead Box, definitely take advantage of the $10 off. The coupon code for that is mystery. You will not regret it. I'm telling you, it's just like getting Christmas once a month. You look forward to it. It's always a surprise. Everybody on the group. So that just brings me to another good point to just mention before we go. So Jesse James Beads has two different groups. Actually, there's three at the moment, but two of the main groups right now for Jesse James Beads is the Secret Stash group, and then we have a Magical Mystery Bead Box group. So if you are not a member of either one of those, I highly recommend doing so because our community is absolutely wonderful. It is a great group of people, tons of inspiration that post their jewelry all the time, just gorgeous, gorgeous pieces, and are so helpful and so uplifting. Like, we really have a wonderful community. The Magical Mystery Bead Box group is a group where you can show off all of the designs that you've created with Magical Mystery Bead Boxes from now all the way back to whenever it is that you very first started receiving your Magical Mystery Bead Boxes. So if you're looking for inspiration and ways to use your items from your Magical Mystery Bead Box, that's a great place to go and you know, hang out with friends and get some inspiration for your creative ideas. The reason that I did want to bring that up is because it is always a secret. Over on the Magical Mystery Bead Box group and on the Secret Stash group, most everybody knows not to post pictures of, and it's not necessarily a rule, it's just kind of how we do it, right? We just keep it a secret until we do the unboxing. That way, the people who get their Magical Mystery Bead Box and they don't want to open it until we open it here, either I open it or Sarah James opens it, they like to do it all together as kind of a surprise. So it's another really kind of great thing about our community. Like, that's just kind of like this unspoken, it's not even a rule, but it's like this unspoken kind of understanding that it really is a surprise every month, and so nobody spoils it. Spoils it? There we go. For anybody else. And I just love that. I mean, that just goes to show how much caring and appreciation we have for each other in our little community there. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. You can catch me tomorrow on Sarah Ellis Designs at 1 p.m. Eastern with another fun project using, of course, my favorite Jesse James beads. I'm actually going to use some beads from today's Magical Mystery Bead Box. And you can catch me again on Maker Monday, Monday Maker, however you want to put those two words in order, 7 p.m. And again, same time, same place, right here on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time for another fun project. In the meantime, you guys enjoy your weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.